Good evening. This is Bo Jory Vanderberg, formerly the 388 Fighter Wing historian, and I'm conducting interviews at the 67th Annual 388 Bomb Group Reunion. And this evening, I'm conducting an interview of the following individuals. Please identify yourself.
My name is Charles G. Neff, Jr.
Okay. And what was your position with the 388 Bomb Group?
I was bombardier navigator.
Okay. And, sir?
I'm Ben Forrest, Jr., and my father was Staff Sergeant, ball turret gunner of the 388 Bomb Group.
Okay. Was your dad, by chance, a crew member with Chuck Neff?
Yes, he was, on one interesting mission.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go through a series of questions that I've conducted with all of the air crew or the bomb group individuals, kind of like walking through their career, and we'll kind of go with you with Chuck on each individual question, and you can add in. We'll kind of cross back and forth. You remember what your dad's stuff, about his career and stuff. Okay. So, Chuck, what was your hometown? Where did you come from?
It was actually called Sandy Creek, Pennsylvania, which is mailing address of Verona, Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. And Ben, where does he raise?
He actually grew up in Manhasset, New York.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's see. We already answered that at the introduction. Let me talk about the dates of service and when you entered military service. Okay. The World War was coming up, and tell me about how it is you became involved with the military service.
I made, at the time there was, that you could enter into a agreement with the service if you could beat it.
Okay.
Conditions for it was open. It wasn't an interest for being a cadet in the Army.
Okay.
Army Air Corps. Okay. And what that was set up as is you either had to have 2 years of college or be able to test the test. And so I took that and qualified in December of 42, I think it was.
Okay. All right. And that was in lieu of being drafted?
What's that?
In lieu of being drafted?
No.
You weren't even being drafted?
I wanted to be in the Air Force.
Okay, you just flat out.
You might mention he was 17 at the time.
At that time.
Okay.
I was at 17. I was in high school and taking things that could. At that time we were allowed to take different classes at college, which I did.
Okay.
Even though I was a senior in high school. Okay.
Okay.
I skipped some grades and all that. That's so I was an age just like it was.
So you're like dual enrolled in high school and in college,
At the
taking
same
college?
time, they allowed us to do that.
Okay.
He skipped 5th and 6th grade.
Oh, okay.
He was a
I
younger
skipped 2
guy.
grades and the lower grades, 3rd and 5th.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened that I could.
All right.
It was at 17 years age.
Okay. So when did you go in the military?
I got called up from that after they passed the test and so forth. They called me up, I think, in February of 43. I guess it's 43.
Okay, February 43. And where did you initially report?
To I guess it's San Francisco, or yeah, or no, at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I guess that was.
Okay. All right, and that was
That was where I ended up, and then to go from that time. When I had to go there, the first place I went to was Nashville, Tennessee.
okay for training.
Yeah, well,
Or,
just for connection, because now I'm Army Air Corps. I'm not Army, so I'm a cadet under specification. That's it. Not an Army, not part of the Army Air Corps, part of the Army Air Corps. Okay. It's
Okay.
kind of hard to understand, but that's what it was.
So you went through a transition basically at Nashville.
My marriage, it was to get me into the service. Went through some papers and so forth like that, and then they classified me as where I was going to go to school to learn different types of trades in the Air Force portion.
okay.
And I went from there to California.
Okay. And where did you report at California? Where did you go?
Santa Ana was the
All right.
first place. That was a ground school and things like that.
Okay. And then after ground school, how long were you at ground school?
Oh, I would say probably a couple months or something like that. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you exactly.
All right. Now this is ground school again to be a pilot, correct?
No, this is just to make up what I wanted it to be.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it was all kinds of radio operation, all kinds of things. I made my choice to be a bombardier,
Okay.
and then I went to Victorville from there.
All right. So you went in not necessarily to be a pilot, but just to be on the air crew.
No, I went in purposely, I wanted to be a bombardier.
Okay.
From day one.
All right. From day one, you want to be a
I
bombardier.
wanted to work
Okay.
I wanted to use the Northern bomb sight, okay, because
All
that
right.
it was, to me, that was what, it was worth, you could drop a bomb at the things and I was a math major.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
it's-
So you already knew about the North bomb site.
That's exactly, that's where I went. I can tell you, the other reason why I went was my family. I
Okay.
either had to work in a steel mill or the end of the farms, which is normal with kids that are from 12 years old up. And so
Yes, sir.
And when the world came along and stuff like that, I decided I didn't like either one of those jobs. I wanted to be in the Air Force.
Okay. All right. Well,
And
that's pretty
was
sweet.
back when I was 12 years old to the 17, so
Okay.
it was a long time. Okay.
All right. So this is okay. What time frame again? Is when you got finished in California
Okay.
and you went to Ventura?
No, I went to Victorville.
I'm sorry, Victorville.
Okay.
All right. I call it.
It's out in the Maui area, California.
Okay.
Okay. And that's where I got my commission.
All right. And what day? What time was that? When was that?
It was
What
in
year?
October of 43.
Okay, October '43. And so now,
October, yeah.
all right. Have you already done some beyond the ground school? Have you started your bombardier training yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I did that. That was when I left the ground school
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
back in
Right.
the beginning of the year.
So it's kind of simultaneous. When you were commissioned a second lieutenant,
Yes.
is that when you were also certified as a bombardier?
Yes.
Just kind of all right.
I had my
coincident.
commission and as a bomber.
Okay. All right. Okay, Ben. Let's talk about your dad now.
Sure.
When did he go in the military, and where did he enter?
Well, he was in a fraternity when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, and he was 18. And he went up to sign up the next day, and they wouldn't take him right away to the Army because he had a cyst that they had to repair. So he got that taken care of over the next 7 months, and entered into what he initially wanted to do, was be a pilot training. And like Chuck, he had a ground school he had to go through first. That was the end of 1942, early 43. He started flight training, and then they had a flight physical. About 3 months into the flight training, they found out his right eye was not acceptable to be a pilot. And it was very disappointing to him. But he ended up going into actually aviation mechanics. He was a mechanic on PT-19s in the training command. And then they turned him into an armorer, and that's when he entered the B-17 unit. So he ended up being an armorer on B-17s
Okay.
in mid-43. So right around March to June 43, he got his training as an armorer and deployed to England right about that same time with the 308th Bomb Group, 563rd Squadron. So
Okay.
he got over there fairly early as the armorer.
Well, explain what is his job as an armor.
Basically, he's a guy that takes all the bombs, puts them together, and loads them onto the airplane.
Okay.
And all the other armor on the airplane, all the 50 caliber machine guns, you make sure they're lubricated and they're functioning correctly and all that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he's a ground maintenance guy.
Ground maintenance guy.
maintainer guy.
And ground armor fellow, setting up all the weaponry to go for the airplane.
Okay.
On August 6th, 1943, the squadron, 6 airplanes took off for Stuttgart. Nobody came home. All 6 airplanes were shot down. And so they needed people, obviously, and he volunteered to be an air crew and ended up going to training as a ball turret gunner
Okay.
and went to what they call the wash, went through the training, got back, got qualified. And his second or third mission, I think, he ended up on Chuck's crew.
It was our fourth mission. Our fourth mission.
Your fourth and his second or third or
Yeah,
something.
that's it.
And it was because the guy they had as a ball turret gunner was kind of not such a great guy, so dad was a spare gunner, they fit him in there. And
To take his place on our
Take his place.
original group of 10 people that we had on our plane to start.
Okay.
so that kind
Our
of
crew of 10,
started
yeah.
Crew of 10.
the famous mission that we'll get to as we move on.
Okay. Now you mentioned something called the wash.
Yeah.
Could you explain what that is?
Basically, and Dad explained it to me, it's a great big flat where they had a rail car, and you sat in this rail car and they had a target out 1,000 yards away, and you'd learn how to shoot your air-cooled 50, which was out of the ball turret he had at the start. So you got a moving thing here, and you're shooting from this moving thing to a stationary thing out there.
Okay.
Which taught him lead and lag and all that kind of thing.
All right.
That was the wash.
Now was that in England?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now your dad is now teamed up with you, but that's before you get there, right? So I want you to explain once you completed your bombardier training,
Okay.
when did you meet up with your first crew? Your initial
We
crew?
read it, okay, our original crew was in October of,
Oh,
right
okay.
as soon as we graduated, we went to a place to put a crew together.
Okay, and where did you go for that?
It's in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City,
It
okay.
was that was a fairgrounds, it was not being, but the Army was using that.
Yes,
Okay, okay.
okay,
And we made up our crew, so many, all graduates was going there, the ones from the military, the ones for flying, the one from everything, navigation, different gunners and so forth like that.
Okay.
So we put our crew together.
all right,
And you picked out so many officers for this category and so many for the top.
okay. All right, so then you get on your bomb crew.
Yeah.
Did you go out, once you got your bomb crew together, did y'all end up going out to Wendover Field to do more bombing training?
No,
Bomb
we went
range
from there
training?
to Ardmore, Oklahoma.
Oh, Ardmore, okay. Went there, and that's where your
That's where we
crew,
started flying with the B-17 and so forth, and learned to
Okay.
fly days, nights, and so forth, and also to formation flying around the United States. We did what you call inspection. We've taken Corps up and down the coast of West California and so forth.
Okay.
That because for storage, for submarine watch and so forth, like that. That was right.
okay,
To take that's right. And after that, we in December we had completed that.
Okay.
Formations and so forth. We flew either morning, afternoon, or do the sake as you go through the things, and took ground school too in between. One day was afternoon and so forth for ground school. The other day was flying morning or afternoon or evening and so forth. The same day, and they rotate different until we got to
okay,
the point.
all right. And did you do practice actual dropping bombs along that, during that training
Yes,
period?
Yeah,
Okay,
and flying too, formations and so forth. Yeah.
okay, so when did you end up heading, and how did you head to Nettishaw?
To Nettishaw, we went to the Grand Island to pick up a new airplane at Grand Island, and went to calibrated all the instruments and so forth. That as a crew,
Okay,
because we'd all been graduated out of this overseas training unit, that's what we were being trained from this time we graduated and put our crew together to then.
okay,
We left that up. We were about a week up at Grand Island picking up an airplane.
all right,
That's we did all the things. And most of the work was done by myself and the pilot because his flying, and I was more interested in his, was things like that for things like that. And we got that out. We went from there, started our way to England. We went to Gander, England, Newfoundland.
okay,
First on the way over to England.
So you flew from Newfoundland,
Yeah, yeah.
Non-stop,
That was the
basically.
first stop. We got stuck late in December, because of the weather.
okay,
We were last going out and so forth like that. We got there in Scotland, on our way over to Scotland. We were stuck with the
Newfoundland for how
before
long?
we could waiting for the weather to get better. We took it to about there. We got over there. Went from there Gander on to Newfoundland,
Okay,
Westwick, Scotland.
all right, and then, so you arrived in Scotland,
Yes.
but that was not at Nettishaw, right? You
No,
flew
that
the
was
plane
not-
to
that was not
Scotland.
where- That was where they took the airplane away from us. That
Right.
was the first thing they took.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to.
And we went to school again. We went down to Stone. From
Okay,
there, we left there. They took everything away from the even my doctors and things like that. We went down to Stone and went to school for learning how to fly in and out of. Went to main thing, fly in and out of England because of the barrage balloon stuff, so it wouldn't be shot down by leather and all that kind of stuff.
okay,
And then after that, at the beginning of the year, we went to Nettishaw.
alrighty. Now, in the meantime, Ben, he arrived there back in July of '43, right?
correct.
Because it was with the initial cadre of when the 388 first deployed to
Yeah,
Nettishaw.
it's pretty close to initial cadre, yeah. And
Okay.
then, yeah, it served as an armor, as I was saying, until that mission. So really, he was probably 3 months as an armor, and then had the squadron was lost completely.
So that Stuttgart mission, it was,
Volunteered, and I think he had 3 months of training or 4 months of training to be
Okay.
a ball turret gunner.
Yeah.
And signed as an extra gunner, and subsequently Chuck's group got there, went through a few missions, needed an extra gunner, and that's when they joined up. So,
Okay.
That was our fourth mission.
yeah.
on your fourth mission, because you lost your ball turret guy?
Yes, we got voted out. How's that? He wasn't useful, and there were a lot of other things wrong.
Okay,
But
he had some baggage that you wanted
It
to
was
get rid of.
excess baggage. The crew came to me and